Hello everyone. Welcome back to August Astro and Intuitive Forecast. We've got a lot of changes coming up in this one, but first, as always, I like to start with some updates. Also, look at this beautiful new deck I just bought today. I just woke up and I was like, I want a new deck. And I drug my whole family to my local metaphysical store. And I was like, this one. But first off, announcements. This month is going to be a huge month because I am going to be launching my Psychic Development Academy. Finally, this is something that I've been wanting to do for probably about the last year. And just short blurb, the Psychic Development Academy is for those who want to be seen as professional psychics. So we're not only going to go into the mastery of your psychic abilities, but we're also going to be diving into business and how to get more people's eyeballs on you and how to keep them on you. And so if you are doing readings now but your income is inconsistent or you're not quite sure how to market yourself, basically I'm going to be giving you my many years of business knowledge, mentorships that I've been through, and just kind of condensing it into a 1-year container that's very high touch, high support. You're meeting with me a lot in a very small group so that I can help you get your business from where you are now to where you'd like to be. And it's going to come with a lot of new content as well as certifications. Finally, I'm having a program that you will finally be able to get certified as, a psychic, medium, animal communicator, possibly even a medical intuitive, trying to figure that part out. But you'll be getting a lot of new content every month. Each month we go into a new theme of business growth, and then we meet several times throughout the month for me to help kind of take you through whatever you're learning in the program, help you get from A to B. Again, I'm just giving you a very brief overview right now. If you want to learn more about it, feel free to go to the blog post that I am going to pin down below. And if you're not sure if you're interested, but you are sort of interested, I will be hosting a couple-day live retreat ahead of time. It'll be free for anyone to join. And so we're going to go in there and we're going to touch on a lot of the things that we're going to be learning inside of the academy. And that way you can check it out, see if it feels like if it's a good fit for you, and then you'll be able to sign up or not sign up. And either way, you'll get some good information out of it. Highly recommend for those of you who are intuitives and want to grow your business. So that's the academy. Next announcement. I made a workshop as a substitute guest workshop last month in the Psychic Development Society membership, and it was medical intuition, and I did part 1 of 2, and this was kind of my approach to basically introducing medical intuition topics. I'll probably be doing a whole YouTube video on it pretty soon. But as I was creating the workshop, I very quickly decided, you know what, this needs to be a whole course. So course incoming, half of it is created. I'm going to not put it up for sale right now, just because it's only half finished. But if you are in the Psychic Development Society membership, just like all my other courses, it comes in my membership, so you are welcome to join and watch part 1, and part 2 will come out probably after I've had the time to launch the academy, and we'll go back to recording the second half pretty soon. And my last update, I have a new offer. It is called my VIP Psychic Support Package. This isn't for everybody, but I created a package that's basically like you get Psychic Lauren in your pocket for the month. And within this package, you get several readings with me each month. You get a kickoff session where we also go over your astrology transits for the month, as well as you get a bunch of voice note sessions with me, so you can kind of just keep getting readings with me throughout the month. And it's basically so that you know you've got dedicated time with me each month. And more than that, it is here for support. So, if you have a big decision that you're weighing, or big goals for the month, or it's going to be a particularly hard one, or maybe you just want clarity and reassurance, and just the ability to check in with a psychic several times throughout the month, but you don't need, huge long readings, this is the package for that. So yeah, I've opened this up. I'll be doing it pretty much every month, but I'm only going to be taking on about 1 to 2 clients every month. So I'm going to limit it because it will take a lot of like my time and energy, and I want to basically give that to my VIP clients. So if it's ever something you want in the future, you know, you got a big job thing coming up, you've got a wedding coming up, a big event, I don't know, whatever it is, you know, feel free to always reach out. You can ask if, you know, I've got that month open. But if you want to learn more information about that, just feel free to shoot me an email anytime through my website, and I can get you more information on the pricing and the packages. Side note, if you are going to join the academy, I'm going to teach you how to build containers like these. All right, brand new deck, haven't even opened this. It's nice and crispy. Beautiful. There's the back of the cards. The front, again, I always link all the decks that I use down below. So it looks like it's a mixture of like planets as well as some other keywords. Oh, I'm so excited to use this. So using my Llamas Lunasaw deck because August 1st is Lunasaw Llamas. And we have Hilltops. Hold tight to your vision as you're being called to climb to new heights. Ooh, I love this. So immediate first impressions that I'm getting from this is that your vision, you might be faltering this month. Like that end goal, you're like, I want to get there, I want to do it, but Spirit's like encouraging you to make it happen. Hold tight to it. The obstacles that you are hitting, the things that are coming up, are to help improve that vision. It's to help you get there. Maybe the way that you thought you were supposed to be there is not the way that is supposed to happen. So keep pushing. Don't let go of that vision, but also be flexible enough that if something is coming up as an obstacle, ask, what is this doing for me, instead of what is this doing to me, and throwing it all in the trash. How is this showing up this month? We have the moon and Capricorn. We also pulled Capricorn up here. So, oh, look at these cards. Okay, so the moon. So this is definitely showing up emotionally. Makes sense. Like emotionally, we might want to be throwing in the towel. Emotionally, we might be feeling overwhelmed. Capricorn is, what's the end goal? What's the long-term vision? You know, what are you trying to build that might take some time? Capricorn is not immediate results. It's slow future planning. And you know, going up to our astrodites here, we have Mercury in Capricorn in the 10th house. Like, are a lot of you making big work strides this month? Let me know in the comments, because this is saying that you're really communicating this long-term goal, this long-term vision, this plan, and it might be in your 10th house of where you're most visible. 10th house tends to most often be associated with career, but it can also just be like how you're seen, because sometimes, you know, your career is not the same as like how you're, you know, recognized in the long term. Like, sure, you know, that person might have, you know, worked a retail job their whole life, but they were most known for being an amazing parent, grandparent, within their community, or, you know, within their spiritual community. So like 10th house doesn't always mean work, but it's how you're being perceived. You're stepping up, you're communicating those long-term visions. These visions are going to be tested this month, but stick to it. You know, figure out, how can I feel emotionally regulated? Stick to the long-term plan. Very clear. Okay. Now, trying out some new questions just to break this up for me. Make it less monotonous, because you know how I always teach, if you get bored of your readings, switch them up. Because if you get bored of it, they're not going to be as good. Your greatest opportunity this month is stepping into like authenticity, stepping into your bliss, stepping into the most vibrant, full version of yourself. Wow, that's incredible. So there is an opportunity this month where you could just be like in the spotlight, or again, 10th house, there is like this recognition of your work, this being seen energy, and feeling, you know, and even if it's not that you're being seen, it's that you feel purposeful, you feel aligned. even in the pursuit of this thing that you're trying to accomplish. You are lit up like the sun in that you are so aligned, so authentically in the place that you are supposed to be. And there's a lot of beautiful opportunities that come with that. When you are shining bright, you attract more opportunities to you. People are drawn to you. You feel happier. And so this could even be emotionally just on a high. I kind of just went straight to like overwhelm, but it could be that emotionally you are feeling so fulfilled because you're holding on to this vision and you're starting to see, oh my gosh, all these hiccups, all these things that have been in my way are actually helping me to realize this thing, and I'm so excited. I feel so aligned, so on my path. Now, what could hold you back this month? The sunflower. Interesting. So this is saying follow your bliss and watch as the things that are meant for you come home to you. So this to me says that, kind of the obstacle this month is that if we are not paying attention to what we want, if we're not following our bliss, if we are not in alignment with, what makes me happy, what do I need in this moment, the things that are meant for you might pass you by. And, I do in some regards think that the things that are meant for you will always come to you. But, what could hold you back this month is just not trusting in that long-term vision and missing the things that are passing you by. Or maybe they still come to you and there's just kind of this generic feeling of like, oh, things are still not good. It's like this pessimism even when you're being handed abundance. Okay. How do we work with this energy this month? Rebirth. Reinvent yourself, give life to your dreams, create a new reality. Which is interesting because, we might be still following through on an older vision, or maybe it's a new vision completely. I feel like for the majority of us, it might be tweaking. Tweaking an old vision, reinventing it, or, even if the vision is still the same, reinventing ourselves. Coming at it with new, renewed hope, new interest. The creating a new reality to me says, like, what are we saying about this vision? What are we saying about this goal or dream? And how could we be talking about it better? I also feel like for those of you who are resonating with the work end of this one is like also about networking. That's how we can work with this energy, communicate, talk. I pulled another card from another deck to see, how I'm liking this spread, and I don't want to leave this out. So it's like connecting with others through social awareness, through empathy, enhances unity through the sharing of information. So that's very much Mercury. So share this month, whatever your vision is, time to share, time to make that Instagram profile, time to publish your website, time to start sending out those newsletters, like whatever this is. And again, apply it to whatever situation is coming to mind. If it's a relationship, start communicating, reach out, talk to that person, talk to many people, put yourself out there. So, new question I'm asking, how is Spirit trying to communicate with you this month? And so we have your intuitions are real. So this is partly like, you got to trust what you're getting, or else, you're not going to ever get the message. And then empathically. So you might be getting a lot of other people's stuff, a lot of other people's emotions coming up. Or it just might be that you're very clairsentient this month, and that's how they're communicating to you, is it might be through those emotions. It's like all of a sudden you feel excited for no reason, or you feel really sad, and it's kind of like, okay, is there a message here? Is it Spirit possibly communicating to me? Maybe it's just as pure and simple as like gut feelings that you're getting, feeling drawn to walk into a certain place. All of these are your psychic abilities. And, clairsentience, if you aren't super familiar with it, or you don't even know which clairs are your strongest, I did make a 6 clairs quiz last month, so you guys are more than welcome to take that quiz, find out what your strongest clair is. And I also have like a little $12 bite-sized course about how to understand your clairs, how to strengthen them, and how to start actually like receiving and understanding the psychic hits that you're getting. So just know that that is there as a tiny resource. Obviously, if you want to dive in even further, I have courses that go from my basic psychic skills course all the way up to my masterclass. The guidance you need to hear as you move into this month, Pisces. Just feel it out. Trust your intuition this month. The Pisces is all about intuition. It's about connecting to a psychic source. It's about balancing the logic mind and the intuitive mind. That your intuition is actually supporting you quite a bit this month. And, you know, even lean into your emotional state, because some of that, you know, stuff that's emotional might actually be psychic. It might actually be messages from spirit. You know, Pisces is also about idealism. Dream big. Dream big. What are those big lofty goals? Hold on to it. But essentially lean into your spiritual practice this month. When you can be empathetic, when you can be compassionate and open up your feelings to others, it can bring in beautiful dreams, visions, and goals. This is also like romanticize your life this month, especially with these cards. Dissolve any boundaries that are kind of keeping you from achieving your goals. Reinvent yourself. Like Pisces kind of wraps up a lot of this reading in a lot of amazing ways. Sometimes you might feel overwhelmed. You might need to get a little bit grounded. Beautiful. Very, very cool, especially knowing that we are headed into an eclipse season this month, because that can speed things up. So it'll be really interesting to see how this pans out. Now, if you're listening to this reading and you're feeling like, I don't feel like this is me, I don't know what I'm doing right now, I don't know what I'm missing, I just created a brand new reading called the What Am I Missing reading. It's a pre-made reading. I made all the questions, and basically I just tune into spirit and answer what's going on. Why are you feeling stuck? Why am I overwhelmed by so many choices right now? Like life just doesn't make sense. Like we all get to that feeling at some various points in our life where we just know like something needs to shift, but we don't quite know what it is, or we feel like spirit is trying to tell us something, but we don't know what it is. Just know, even if you're not feeling that now, that I do have that reading as an option. You're always welcome to book it. I did open a little bit of availability in August. It might be gone by the time this goes up, because I do always let my people on my society know first. But overall, I am more caught up to my bookings right now. I'm only about a month out. So you don't have to wait nearly as long if you've been waiting for a while, whether you're one of my returning clients or if you are newer and you just did not want to wait to be booked so far out. But yes, friends, let's get into the August Astro Forecast. All right, everyone, jumping into August astrology. I have sort of decided, and I'm not quite sure what this is going to look like in the future, but I kind of need to step back from these in the sense of I am doing too much. I am doing too much. I'm researching too much. Had a lot of like difficult conversations with myself at the end of the South Node and the North Node leaving. And I've actually cut out quite a bit from my daily work schedule because I want to come back to teaching. I want to come back to making videos. And I feel like astrology has kind of been a distraction for me. Not saying I don't love it, because I freaking love it and I don't want to stop looking at it, but I found that I have this intense obligation to show up and give you guys all the information. And I've really been like, I don't have to do that. I don't owe anybody anything. If people really, really want to know everything that's going on, I can point them to other fantastic astrologers. But I've just been realizing that it's been taking away a lot of my time. So in an effort to see if I can still do it, I'm going to just do much less this time around. So let me know if you're crying, if this is awful, if you're so sad, if it's not enough, or if you're actually fine. Another reason why is I just don't get very much feedback off of this portion of the video. Less views, but also nobody really comments on it, except for like a couple of you here and there, which I always appreciate. But Yeah, I'm going to try to do like maybe half as much this time, just the major things, and see where that takes me. So let's get into it. First off, I don't have it on here, but the nodes have just shifted at the end of July. They have shifted now into Aquarius and Leo. They were in Pisces and Virgo for a while. So very excited to have those off of my sun and my rising. I do not recommend the first house south node. It's tough. It's almost like, it's not just first house themes, it's like your whole entire like life. Everything was just sort of like falling apart. So redoing a lot. Very excited to be sick of that. Although it came with a bang because I got horrid stomach flu, first house. Just the last 2 days that South Node was in Virgo, I was like, haha, let's give you one last middle finger on my way out. And I was like, damn it. Anyways, that being said, on the very 1st of August, hopefully the day you're seeing this, is going to be Lunasaw Lammas. This is a harvest festival, one of the 8 Sabbats that a lot of people who celebrate various like Wiccan, pagan, or just kind of like earth-focused spirituality. I have an older video on Lunasaw, its origins, how to celebrate it, if it's of interest. And yeah, that's the 1st of the month. Now, the couple big things that I want to cover. First one is on August 6th. Venus is moving into Libra. Oh, right here. Now, this is just, it's not going to make a whole lot of noise probably. Venus likes being in Libra. However, it is setting off a really long cycle that's going to be happening in your Libra and Scorpio houses for like 6 months. Essentially, just to give you like a preview, Venus is going to go into Libra, it's going to go into Scorpio, it's going to retrograde in Scorpio, it's going to retrograde in Libra, and then it's going to start going forward again into both of these houses. And that whole process takes like a solid 6 months. Venus is just going to be doing a lot in these 2 sectors of your chart, so you can drop it down below. And it's going to be connecting the themes of these 2 houses. So this is my 2nd and 3rd house, for example. So my house of like what I value, this could be money. It could just be like what I value, what's important to me, related to my 3rd house, which is my neighbors, my siblings, short-term travel. Somehow those 2 things are getting connected. And I'm going to discuss it a little bit more next month because it starts more next month. However, just to give you a preview, what we're doing with Venus is we're rethinking what we value, we're rethinking relationships, we're rethinking. But to give you a little preview, it's sort of like, as it's moving through Libra, if this is what you want, goes into Scorpio, this is what needs to change, backwards, make these changes in Scorpio, make these changes in Libra. Okay, let's start moving forward. And so that's kind of just the energetic of what's going on. Again, you're going to have to look at the actual houses. But Venus retrogrades are really, they can be tough as is, because Venus, she's going into the underworld in a lot of ways when she goes into retrograde. And so it's really about going into, there's like a story of she goes into the underworld, into these dark caves, having a dark night of the soul, and then coming back to the surface completely changed, but at the same time she's more empowered. That doesn't mean it's going to be awful for everyone. It could be really awesome, really transformational. It just really depends on your own personal chart. But point being, when Venus moves into Libra around August 6th, you're going to get a little preview of what this whole 6-month process might be like. And so that's good to know ahead of time. And I'll point it out next month when Venus moves into Scorpio. Okay, you know, what's coming up. Because around those days, you know, give or take maybe a day or 2, you should probably see themes in these 2 houses that will kind of like help you get a little bit of a preview. So yeah, that's the only reason I mention it. Pay attention to what happens if you choose, if you want, because it's going to be a reoccurring long story that's about to start playing out. Not so much when it's moving forward, but definitely when it starts moving backwards and gets into that shadow period. On August 12th, we have our lunation, first lunation, which is also eclipse. Yes, folks, it is eclipse season. This is a total solar eclipse in Leo. That's a bad Leo, but so essentially the sun and the moon are like right next to each other. Let's start just definition of what eclipses are. Eclipses are major endings, major beginnings. You'll often see the rise and the fall of really prominent people, celebrities, figures, a lot of notable deaths during this time. And it's also a continuation of the previous cycle. So this is our second eclipse in the Aquarius Leo sector of our charts, because eclipses for some reason just tie together two opposite sides of your chart. Both of them are happening, both of them are related at the exact same time, whereas before they might not, interfere with each other. So you'll have to look at what house Leo's in, what house is Aquarius in for you. So for me, this is my 6th house of day-to-day work, routines, and then my 12th house of like my inner world, my mind, my dreams, my mental health. And so, normally those two might not be related, but there's going to be something that very much so ties it together. And again, we had an eclipse in Aquarius earlier, February, it would have been 17th. Yes, February 17th of this year. So you can just literally go back, look at what you were doing around those times. This is going to come up for you again. But maybe be a furthering of that story. This Leo eclipse, it'll be a continuation of the last Aquarius eclipse cycle. I'm not going to review everything like I did last month because that was just too much. And as I was doing it, I was like, why am I doing this? If you are very curious about my global predictions about what's going to happen, you can always go to my Excel document, look back at the Aquarius eclipse that happened in February 17th. All of those stories, you're probably going to see a continuation happening there. Biggest one I want to mention, the war with Iran. It's going to hit a new peak, a new escalation. Unfortunately, with this eclipse and the next eclipse later in the month, we're going to see a major, major turning point there, unfortunately. And I don't think it's going to be of de-escalation. But just some keywords from that. Free speech, election interference, gerrymandering, more ICE problems, Trump 2028 themes. Something positive, though, that happened, because I did do a podcast kind of following up that last eclipse cycle and what I thought it meant for the future in this month. There was a lot of accountability with Epstein. That was something that was really good that I saw. We might see Board of Peace popping up again. The last time I heard about the Board of Peace, they had no money. So I'll be curious what happens this month. But Prince Andrew got arrested last time. So I'm hoping there's going to be more accountability, more falls of big figures. Greenland is like a huge tie into this eclipse cycle. So I wonder if Greenland's going to come back up. These are just my personal predictions. Also, Leo Aquarius eclipse, because it activates Aquarius, that's also like UFO information. I did a podcast with Anna on the UFO stuff and what I thought might be happening there. I'll also link that down below. But this will also be a major turning point with Russia and Ukraine because their stuff has also tied into these eclipses. So, battery change. Anyways, I'm going to get better at covering less. You guys can always go look more at my documents if you're really curious what's going to happen. But the last thing I want to say, this eclipse, not good for Mr. Trump. Not good at all. If he doesn't have something happen to his physical health, he's going to have a major ego death in some sort of way. The only time I've ever mentioned something about his passing was when I had 3 dreams and I was told January. So I was hoping maybe it was this January, but that didn't happen. And so I just kind of was like, well, I'm not going to bother predicting. But this one is just so huge for him because he has, I wonder if it'll show up on my phone. He has his south node right on top of his part of fortune, which is your health. South node directly on his ascendant. Jupiter in his first house. The eclipse in his first house. He's also having his Uranus return. Like, yeah, I'd be very interested to see what happens to him around this time. Oh, I forgot to give you guys your houses. So for this Leo eclipse, again, you're gonna take both signs opposite, but I'm gonna read what house Leo is in for you. So Aries risings, this is your 5th house, Taurus 4th, Gemini 3rd, Cancer 2nd, Leo 1st, Virgo 12th, Libra 11th, Scorpio 10, Sagittarius 9, Capricorn 8, Aquarius 7, and Pisces 6. So again, the number I gave you, also take the number directly across from that. Those are the 2 houses that are going to be lit up for you. I also forgot to say, Venus is super cool in that its transit, you can look back and really easily see things that have been happening before in your life. And so like this Venus retrograde, you can look back at most recently 2018, because that's when Venus was in, I believe, Libra, or it might have been just Libra and Scorpio. And you're going to get a sense of like those same themes. It was in that same house for you, same planet, what's coming up again. So 2018, the 8 years prior to that, 2010, also 2002, 1994. You can just keep going back every 8 years. Oh, and I forgot to say also, this Venus retrograde heavily associated with midterms, and all of those years that I just brought up apparently have been really major shakeup midterm years. So that could be we really switch to blue, or what I think might happen is things are going to get like possibly rigged and a huge upset because things were not, are not shifting in a way that the general public would like. So that's something I'd like to read into before that time comes. But yeah, that's has a lot to do with this Venus. It's gonna really, be the source point of this kind of nasty midterm cycle that's about to happen. Question is, nasty for who? Hopefully it's for the people we don't want it to be for. August 22nd. We have the sun moving into Virgo. Heck yes, it's Virgo season. It's my season. Yeah, effects of this will be felt for everyone, of course. Virgo season is much more analytical, detail-oriented, focused on nitpicking, being a perfectionist. Great for staying organized and getting basically whatever house this is in your chart, just kind of like knocking through anything that's important to you. Those themes will just kind of be like highlighted that month to month, August 22nd to September. Okay, and then we have our next eclipse. And again, remember with eclipses, we really feel those about a week before and a week after. And so, and these are 2 weeks apart. Oh, whoops, sorry, this is the eclipse, sorry. Week before, week after, those are 2 weeks apart. So eclipse season, you don't really get much of a break. And so this next eclipse is going to be a lunar eclipse in Pisces. And we have had so many eclipses in Pisces and Virgo, like an abnormal amount, just the way that the nodes are moving. Again, this is something that I've tracked, and we still have one more to go. We've got one last eclipse in Virgo, but this is the final eclipse in Pisces for a long time. Over to Pisces, so you can see they're opposite. What's crazy is this eclipse is happening on my exact degree of my sun. So that's going to be interesting for me. Exact degree. But this is giving you one sort of last end cap, last lesson for whatever you've been dealing with in the Pisces sector of your chart. Again, I have an Excel document with all the past ones, past dates. I've been even just keeping track of my stuff personally. If you want to see for more fun examples, more practical examples, I also have like a column for global stuff. But essentially, it's the final push in the right direction for Pisces. And then next February, when we have our final eclipse in Virgo, final push in that Virgo section. And we're finally going to wrap up these themes. But at least we won't be having another eclipse in Pisces. If you've been keeping track, I'd love to know how that's looked for you over the past few years. But yeah, unfortunately, some stuff globally that's happened here, immigration, Social Security data being stolen, stuff with Cuba, stuff with Russia helping Iran, China helping Iran, Ecuador. Like, on all of these Virgo Pisces eclipses, it's been like one continuation closer to a world war. I think we are really, I think we already saw that happen at the end of last month with Ukraine getting involved with Iran, but I think this is it. This month is really going to kick the rest of this off. Oh, and also this Pisces eclipse is heavily associated with the oil and gas crisis, so I do think that's probably going to get worse. And again, the Iran-US story, it started on the prior Libra and Aries eclipses, and then it moved over to the Virgo Pisces eclipses, so it's very much tied into those. So yeah, just more of a furtheration. Again, remember, same keywords: major beginnings and endings, the rise and fall of prominent figures, deaths of notable people, continuation of those prior eclipse cycles. It ties in both of those themes from both sectors of your chart. But again, this could be super positive for you. I know this eclipse might be huge and transformational for me. Just because there's crazy things happening in the world does not mean that there's not awesome things happening for you. Definitely has been the case for me. Even with that Barbeau's basket, I was seeing huge, awesome things happening. I'm like, should I knock on wood? Okay, last thing I want to talk about, August 31st. Obviously, there's lots of stuff that's happening, you guys, but I'm just trying to keep it to the bare minimum because I think you're more here for my readings and less for my astrology. And again, the amount of time I've been doing research on astrology, I need to be a little bit more realistic with myself. Awesome. Okay, August 31st, we have Saturn square Mars. Oh, and at this point, Mercury's moved into Leo. Mars has moved into Cancer. That day is going to be a huge vibe shift, August 11th, unfortunately. Oh, and then Mercury will also be in Virgo at this point. Mars square Saturn is always tough because it's like pushing the gas pedal and the brake at the same time. It can deal with outbreaks, health outbreaks, oil crisis. It's been cropping up with. This energy will go into September, obviously, because this is only the very last day. But in your own life, how you might be feeling that is like a push and a pull. Like either you're trying to move forward and something is stopping you, or you're trying to slow down and something is pushing you forward. And this will be kind of in the Cancer and Aries sector of your charts. So the Pisces eclipse for all of your charts, all of your signs, if you are an Aries rising, this is your 12th, Taurus 11th, Gemini 10th, Cancer 9th, Leo 8, Virgo 7, Libra 6, Scorpio 5, Sagittarius 4, Capricorn 3, Aquarius 2, and Pisces 1. All right, friends, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there, keeping it a little bit shorter and sweeter. We'll have to see how long I took. My hope is to kind of prioritize getting the Academy up this month, and then I want to really get back to uploading more YouTube videos. Thank you guys for your patience. Again, there's availability open on my calendar from August into September. I have VIP slots open as of now. And yeah, I'd love to work with you guys more. See you over on the Psychic Development Society if you want to see all the fun things that we're doing over there to develop our abilities. But yeah, friends, I will see you all in my next one. Bye.